I'm Heather Creamer, the Executive Director of the Nova Scotia Fitness Association. And today I'm here with Connie Jasinskas from AQX. And the Nova Scotia Fitness Association has partnered with AQX to provide our Aqua Fitness certification. And I'm here with Connie to talk about that certification, the eligibility requirements for it, and what opportunities you would have as an NSFA AQX certified Aqua Fitness instructor. So welcome, Connie, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
So let's just dive right in and talk about it. What is the AQX certification?
Sure. Well, AQX was developed back in 2011, actually, when a local pool said we want to train our leaders. We want to do it in-house. We train our lifeguards to be Aqua Fitness leaders, though they don't do the two jobs simultaneously. But we want to be able to qualify all our staff and do it in-house. So that was the birth of the program, and it's grown really nicely since then. We're in 6 provinces and Nunavut, and have many leaders across the country who are benefiting from our training. So the background of that training is that we wanted it to be very practical, very straightforward, not get bogged down in more theory than necessary, just enough theory to really support best practices on the part of leaders. We also affordability was really almost job one after the making it really solid, good training that was practical. We just wanted it, a lot of certifications. It seems like the instructor is constantly being hit up for fees and CC fees, and it's expensive to get trained, and then they're constantly having to pay more money to be able to maintain their certification. So we started as an in-house only program whereby we trained the people in a facility, and we have since trained a number of their staff to be mentors and assessors within their facility, and they can also develop trainers within their facility. So that's kind of a unique aspect of what we do, and that's in order to keep costs down.
Okay, so can you tell me, like, are there any prerequisites for somebody that wants to become a AQX Aqua Fitness instructor?
No, so we are not requiring people to come in being a previously trained fitness leader, for example. In the example of lifeguards being trained, as long as they're a qualified lifeguard in their facility, and they just have to have the desire to want to work with that population and to get into the world of vertical aquatic exercise, which is what this is. It's not swimming, it's being vertical in the water and learning how to use the water as a training modality. So the other, in terms of prerequisite, is that they're mature enough to want to do that training and that they want to work with that population.
Okay. What about swimming? Do you have to know how to swim?
No, not at all. Now, of course, when we're training lifeguards, they know how to swim extremely well.
Right.
We've trained lots of other people who aren't swimmers at all. Sometimes we have people, in terms of who comes and takes the course, we have people who are the lifeguard population. That's how we all began. But we also have people who've been participants for years and thought, oh, gee, I think I might like to become an instructor for this. So they might be a 60-year-old female retired nurse. You know, we have those people. So we have young retirees learning to be instructors just as a kind of a side career, something they're interested in. We also have perhaps stay-at-home parents who have some time during the day, or who work from home and have a part-time job and can kind of juggle their schedule a little bit to have an hour here, doing something during the week. So it's quite an interesting cross-section of age groups and backgrounds. And anybody who's got the interest to want to take the training is welcome.
So that's fantastic. So you don't have to have a fitness certification, but by the time that you're finished the certification, you are fully qualified.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we also accept the certification with the Nova Scotia Fitness Association, so they're able to become full members if they're not a member previously. Mm-hmm. That is awesome. And I know we had talked before about you don't have to be previously trained as a fitness instructor, but if you are a group instructor, or even a weight or personal trainer, there's opportunities as an aqua fitness instructor as well.
Yeah, we, in terms, again, of facilities seem to be short of instructors, especially post-COVID, and trying to see who would be interested in coming to teach for them, take this training and get up to speed. It's great to have some background in other areas. You don't have to have it, but if you do, it's another tool in your tool belt. We highly recommend personal trainers take the training because it allows them to really understand how to use the water as a training modality. And unless you've studied it, I've worked with physiotherapists as well as, and they're very well educated movement motivators. But if they don't understand the water, they don't know how to use it effectively as a tool for rehabilitation, for example. So if you're a personal trainer, it's great to learn it as a tool for your practice as a personal trainer. We also have land-based fitness instructors who just want to expand their ability to work in different venues, different facilities, to expand the kinds of offerings that they can do in their professional roster of talent.
Right. We think of it as the aquatic gym. And the other question I had from someone is that you don't have to teach in the water. You are teaching on the deck, so you never have to get in the water.
You don't. Now, you do have to get in the water to understand how to work in the water.
Yes,
So,
exactly, for your
yeah,
training.
So all through our, even the online course, which is the precursor to doing the practical skills training with a trainer, we're encouraging people, go to the pool, try this, go to a class, see what it feels like, especially when we have people who are coming from maybe a lifeguard background, maybe a land-based fitness background. They understand a lot about the body and movement, but they don't necessarily know yet how to apply that to water. And even if they're a swimmer, it's different when you're vertical instead of horizontal. So the way we use the water is different than how swimmers use the water. In swimming, you're trying to be efficient. In vertical aquatic exercise, we're trying to be inefficient. We're trying to burn calories. So it's not about being smooth and streamlined. It's about making some noise in the water and really getting your body engaged with the water and understanding how to do that well, and also understanding the physiology of vertical immersion. Because that has profound effects on your breathing, your heart rate, all the different mechanisms, the physiological mechanisms that support exercise are very much influenced by being vertical in the water, not horizontal. That's different. So learning about that is fascinating for one thing, but another thing, it gives you more tools as the instructor. So you're teaching from the deck usually, unless you're doing maybe a very small group, or you might be doing a therapeutic aquatic modality, then you might be in the water, or you might have a health issue on your own where you can't teach from the deck. Let's say you're 3 months pregnant, or you've got an arthritic knee. You may need to adapt and be able to teach from in the water. Generally speaking, though, when you're on the deck, you can see your people better and they can see you better. So
Right.
your ability to coach them and teach them is far better when you're up there, but you have to understand what they're feeling, exactly how they're connecting with the water. So you have to get in to do the practice.
Right. So, and you mentioned the online portion of the course. So let's talk a little bit about the certification process and how that looks and how it works.
Sure. So we have 2 modules or 2 parts to the course. The first part is approximately a 20-hour online course. It takes time. It's videos, it's some worksheets to think about things, it's different modalities of presenting material to the learner, where we're teaching you about the water, about our teaching paradigms as well, how we recommend that instructors teach and coach their people in the water. Use of music, how to put a class together, how to work differently in chest deep versus deep water, how to work in different water temperatures. There's so many variables that affect the body working in the water that we really want leaders to be comfortable with those. Each chapter in that course, it's about a 250-page manual. If you want to download it, you can. There are downloads within the course, or you can have it in electronic files on your computer, or you can just do it within the course platform. However you prefer to learn is great. And each chapter has a little quiz about the content of the chapter. So by the time you finish the course, you're done your theory exam. There's no separate exam. There's no separate fee for that. You don't have to sit there and slog your way through 100 questions. It's all done chapter by chapter. So you pace yourself as you go through that, but you do need to be finished that before you come to the practical skills training part of the course. So that's the second module of the course. You finish the online component, and then you go to the practical on-site skills training with a trainer.
Okay. And so what happens? So we've done the 20 hours self-directed. We've learned all about the theory of working in water. And if people can go in during that time, have some time to go to a class or pool and experience it for themselves, that makes it more real for them. And then they do the in-person training.
Right. So yeah, the kinesthetic part of the online course is important too. We are telling people, go to a class. If you don't have a class at your facility, go try this, that, and the other thing in the water. So you feel it. You start, that's kinesthetic learning. That's getting your body immersed literally in the material and understanding how it feels in your body. The practical component is another 20 hours, and we break that up. It's usually offered in 4 or 5 hour blocks, because it is all in the pool. It is all active learning by doing. And so to do that 20 hours back to back is not humane or possible for most people. So it's great to have it broken up like that. It gives you time to absorb, to think about it, and to not be overwhelmed physically by what it is you're trying to do. So in the practical skills component, they have a very highly skilled trainer or trainers, depending on the size of the group. And those people are helping you guide through applying the online content. They're not reteaching the online course. They're showing you how it applies when you're out on deck teaching, when you have people in the water, when you are yourself moving in the water and trying to move well, what that feels like. So we really start off with that. We get you in the water. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like if you're moving at this range, this speed, this depth, with this hand shape, this lever length, and so on. So understanding all those online theoretical components and really putting them into action. During that course, you will go back and forth between being on deck leading small parts of your group, a person or two at a time. We ease you into it, little bits of the actual class. And you're going back and forth between practicing being a leader and also being in the water, being a participant, because again, that's kinesthetic learning. By the end of the course, you will have taught a complete class, typically 2, but usually 3 times. You will have taught a complete class on your own. So by the time you walk out of there, you're ready to stand up and teach a class. You don't have to go, okay, well, now I'll go in and I'll teach a warm up for people. Now I'll go in and we've done all that in the course. So by the time you get out, you're ready to step out and teach a class.
That is fantastic. And I know with the Nova Scotia Fitness Association, we always have a practical evaluation for all of our certifications. And I know AQX has one as well.
Yes. So practical assessment is where you're having wise eyes, somebody who's a mentor, assessor, and or trainer who's going to watch you teach a class. So if you have that person at your facility, that's great. They can just pop in while you're teaching a class, sit on deck and do your assessment. If you don't have that person at your facility, you can submit a teaching video. Knowing that some facilities won't let you film people in the pool, understandably, you can teach to your camera, you can teach to your iPad. So as long as we can see that the skills are there, the deck teaching skills are there, you know how to cue properly, you know how to coach properly, that can be done virtually, or it can be done with an in-person assessor.
Okay, so now somebody is fully certified, they've gone through the process. Is there any recertification that occurs after that?
Yes. So rather uniquely, we don't charge, AQX doesn't charge an annual membership fee. I know with NSFA you do, and your insurance comes with that and all the perks of being a member, which is brilliant. But we don't just want a piece of paper and a fee from people every year. We want to see you teach every year. So annual practical reassessment is part of our recertification. And I know with NSFA, we're doing it every other year. Once every 2 years, somebody needs to watch you teach who is a qualified AQX assessor.
Excellent. And I know your master trainers do the same thing.
Yes, everybody in the whole organization, we all have a colleague watch us teach every year, actually. So it's skills drift. And I think it's good to keep the skills on track with what our paradigm is. And for our trainers, we want to really make sure they're exemplifying what our learners are learning in the course. So I know sometimes we'll go to a conference, we'll pick up a few new ideas, we'll be picking things up on YouTube, and then you're bringing that to your class. Well, yeah, there might be some good stuff there. There might also be some stuff there that we wouldn't recommend. So we really like to keep people staying true to the paradigms that we believe in. But also it involves the opportunity for somebody to put their eyes on you teaching and say, you know what, Heather? You should be a mentor. You should be an assessor. Have you ever thought of being a trainer? So it isn't just to say, well, did you tick all the boxes? It's like, whoa, your skills have come along so far. You've become such a more confident, competent instructor. We'd like to add you to the team. So there's more than one purpose for that assessment.
So there's an ability to not only be an instructor for a class, but you can become a mentor assessor, you can become a master trainer, and you can actually be able to train trainers.
Yeah, so just to clarify for our particular jargon, a trainer is someone who's training leaders in a program. They would do the practical skills training. A master trainer trains them. So a master trainer in our nomenclature is somebody who trains the trainers how to train the leaders.
Right. So there's lots of opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so master trainers have usually been in the game for more than 10 years and have a ton of experience under their belt.
Right. So we had talked previously about some of the opportunities, because I think there's a thought or belief that most of the time, if you're teaching an aqua fitness class, it's in the shallow end, and they do a routine. There's so many different opportunities and programs once you are certified as AQX. I know you have one for cycling and floats. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So just to clarify, chest deep versus deep water or suspended, our leaders, once they finish the program, should be equally competent in teaching where you can touch the floor. So chest to shoulder deep, or where you can't touch the floor in the deep end of the pool, where you have a flotation device of some kind to keep you floating. So by the end of the course, we teach you equally how to do both comfortably, so that whatever pool environment you go to, you would be able to step up and teach a good class. Beyond that, there's some great specialty certifications that we offer. The one we're offering it next weekend in Kitchener to a couple of different groups, and it's called Aquability. Aquability I recommend highly as a post-certification specialty, because Aquability teaches you how to instruct classes with people who have pain or difficulty moving. So they would have stable health conditions. They can get out on the deck by themselves, that kind of thing. They can get into the water and out. So we're not talking about profound disabilities. We're not talking about unstable health conditions, say post-cardiac, for example. We're talking about people who are beyond their rehab that they have done after a surgery, after an accident or injury, or with a health crisis like a heart attack. So those people are continuing their lives. They're wanting to get on with their life and get stronger and healthier. And this program is perfect for that. It's a one-day certification. We've split it up into an online component and a practical skills component. So it's about a day altogether. And it's really qualifying you to be able to make those modifications for people, and also to cue in a way that encourages people to make the right choice for themselves. So it's not about drilling a whole bunch of different health conditions and here's the 100 different forms of arthritis and you can learn how each one. No, it's about here's some of the difficulties that people have if they've had a knee replacement, let's say, or if they've had a hip or a shoulder done, or they're waiting for that surgery, or they've had a car accident and they've had a back injury. So it's helping people cope with those health issues. The great thing about Aquability is we have those people in all of our regular classes. So you might be teaching Tuesday morning, 10 o'clock aqua fitness. you might have a couple of people who are pregnant, one who's postnatal, somebody who's waiting for a knee, somebody else who's diabetic. You've got a whole bunch of different health issues because we're all unique and special. And you will have those people in your regular classes, not in specially adapted classes. So Aquability really helps leaders prepare for that and help them to help their people in the pool make good choices for them on a given day. Aqua cycling, you mentioned, that's with having actually aquatic cycles in the pool and learning how to run an appropriate class there. AQX on floats is another one you mentioned. So that's having a SUP board or a floating fitness mat on the water and having your instructor lead a class from the deck about that. So it's about getting on the float, how to get back on once you fall off, because you will. You can put yoga type moves in there. It can be a general calisthenics strength training class. There's cardio involved. So there are different ways of delivering the kinds of exercise, and we help instructors put together a good solid class for those options. Aqua Tots is another certification that we have, and that's where you have the babies on the floating platforms. So it's for quite small infants. It's not a learn to swim for the tots. It's exercise for the caregiver with the tot present. So the tot is involved and engaged, but they're not the one exercising. The caregiver is the one exercising. So that's Aqua Tots. We have Aquanatal, which is fitness in the childbearing year. So that's prenatal, but also postnatal women who want to come and be fit in a way that's really comfortable for them. Aqua Strength is another specialty that we offer, and that is really focusing in on the muscle conditioning part of vertical aquatic training, and also the use of equipment for people who want to branch out and go beyond. Our basic certification, we teach instructors how to create a very effective workout without any added equipment, other than if you're going to deep water or suspended, taking your feet off the floor, how to use a flotation device correctly. That's it. So we're not putting things in people's hands. We're not adding to it. We want them to be really solid on the basic skills and to take separate training for using equipment.
Okay, it sounds like there's a lot of opportunity depending on where your interest lies. You know, once you've gotten the basic certification, you can really branch out, and that's wonderful, depending on the facility you're working at, what they're looking for, what their demographic is. So, and then they have the opportunity as well, if they want to become mentor assessors at some point, and then, you know, potentially master trainers down the road. So as an aqua fitness instructor, they do have a lot of different pathways that they can take along their fitness journey. I can't think of anything else, Connie. I don't know. Can you think of anything else that we haven't covered today?
Well, just building what you were just saying, Heather, in terms of opportunities. I have taught on a cruise ship. I have taught at a tropical resort. You know, you can take this other places besides your community pool. So there are fitness facilities now that have pools in them that are looking for good instructors. There are municipal pools, of course, and university pools. There are also seniors facilities that are putting pools in or having pools available to their residents. So looking at what your ability is to have teaching opportunities, some condos will have pools on site and will offer classes to their residents. So I think it's there's a huge range of opportunities out there for people, and really the whole focus behind Aquability, well, not just Aquability, but AQX training right from the outset was that we want those people in the pool looking up at somebody teaching them to have a well-qualified, well-informed, empathetic coach and instructor on the deck. We want the quality of program delivery to be excellent. So AQX stands for Aqua Leadership Excellence. And we really want that person in the water, wherever they may be, to benefit from good instruction. And that's where we take our leaders.
So we are so excited to have this partnership. I want to thank you for taking the time today, Connie, to speak to us about AQX. And we welcome any questions if people are watching this video and they
Mhm.
want to reach out. We'll have the contact information so that you can get a hold of us and have with your questions. So thank you very much, and look forward to speaking again soon.
Yes, thank you.